Saturday morning, and we're getting a 1-minute jump start on today's presentation. So we're going to start a little bit early so people can start joining us, get the frequency up, get the notifications out, and we're going to talk about acne. We're going to talk about acne, we're going to talk about skincare, we're going to talk about Isomers, we're going to talk about Saturday mornings, we're going to talk about anything that you want to talk about this morning. So thank you for tuning in. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shop HQ. Welcome to Isomers Laboratories and Isomers Skincare. Today we're going to talk about acne. I'm Manuela. I'm a cosmetic chemist. I'm a scientist. I'm a product developer. So basically what I do is I make skincare. Like a chef cooks in a kitchen, I make skincare. And to learn and know how to do that, you have to understand skin. You have to understand not just skin, you have to understand some of the things that happen with skin, especially at different ages and stages of our life. And you have to really work on understanding how the ingredients and those things affect the skin. So one of the things that's very popular and common in skin is acne, breakouts. And this is not just for teenagers. This is something that happens even to babies. Sometimes you see that they get little breakouts, they get little eruptions on their skin. And then you notice in your teenage years, it gets worse. Sometimes it gets really, really bad and inflamed and redness. Then in your 20s and 30s, and then back again. Even when your skin tends to dry out as you get older, over 40, you also notice what? You also notice that you get acne. Even over 40, then 50, then 60. I'm 63, and you know, there's times where I see it. I have the blackheads, I have little bumps underneath my skin, there's hormonal things that are happening. So we're gonna talk about what you're gonna use for your skin, what you're going to use to help get your skin clear and fight the acne. So acne is about bacteria, it's about inflammation, it's about compromised skin barrier. It's not about drying out your skin. It's not about stripping your skin or drying out your skin. So to start it off, we're gonna start off with the hypochlorous acid. This is something that you're gonna use on your skin as a toner. Many times, you see, the thing is, we're taught to cleanse our skin, then we're taught to peel away, strip it, use a lot of acid. So basically you're trying to dissolve or break down or annihilate the acne, right? When you become that aggressive about killing that acne bacteria, the ingredients you're using to kill it a lot of times and strip it away is also hurting your actual skin and your skin barrier. So there are other ways of doing it, things that are more specific, more site specific. So for example, if you could just address the bacteria and feed the good stuff, that would be a much better way of doing it. This is why hypochlorous acid is so important. Hypochlorous acid is anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, helps with the skin's microbiome, which is basically the security system. So you got a bunch of little security bacteria on your skin. You have good guys, you have bad guys. The bad guys are gonna cause rosacea, redness, bumps, acne. They feed off of the sebum and it supports the bacteria. The good guys actually wanna fight that off, but they also need different support. And a lot of times the products you use really don't balance that out. So hypochlorous acid, what this is going to do, you spray this on your skin, simple. Oops, let me do it this way. What this is going to do, it's going to balance the pH, calms and soothes the skin down right away. It's antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, right? You know, and this sets everything right. It doesn't strip your skin, doesn't dry it out. It actually resets your skin in a very good way. It is the only toner I use. I am such an anti-toner. I'm not a big believer in these toners. I don't believe in a lot of the stripping. I have learned so much in cosmetic chemistry, in skincare. I've learned so many ways of doing things wrong. So many things that we've been taught that it's like, no. I've learned all of these things. And so what we want to do is we want to do things right. We want to be able to be gentle with your skin. So this is how you're going to start it off with the hypochlorous acid. Really important, right? Next, you're going to go into, we have the hypochlorous acid, then we have the retinol, we have the microbiome balancing cream. There's a very big misconception that when you have oily skin or acne, you should not use moisturizer. This is wrong. This is so incorrect. Many people are told that when you have acne, you're supposed to try to dry your skin out. True, you're trying to reduce the amount of sebum, acne-causing bacteria, or in the sebum and the food for it, but you still need to hydrate and moisturize. You still need to bring hydration, moisture, cushion, repair, support the barrier function, reduce transepidermal water loss, not dehydrate your skin. You need to do all of those things. It sounds very complicated, but basically think of this. Your skin has to stay wet. Your skin has to stay moist. It has to have, your skin should be spongy. If you spend all your time drying it out to get the bacteria out, and then you don't coat your skin and let it stay spongy, it's going to crack, it's going to change, it's going to suffer. So the type of moisturizer you use is very important. You want to use a moisturizer that is going to balance the pH, it's not going to clog the skin, doesn't have a lot of oils that feeds the bacteria that you've been trying to get rid of all along. So the Microbiome Restore is fabulous because this is a probiotic, prebiotic for your skin. It's like yogurt for your skin in a format that the skin understands. Good morning, Carla. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, ladies. How are you this morning? So nice to see you, to know that you're there. We're talking about acne is the reason I had low self-esteem. Acne is the reason that I ended up with an eating disorder and my world was out of control that I wanted to hide. Acne was the reason why I started Isomers Skincare. All of it is such a life-changing, game-changing condition of the skin. And very few people master acne. Very few people understand how to work with, you're drinking my coffee, sitting here, that's amazing. I had my coffee already this morning, and now I'm on to water. Because I find that now that I'm older, I can't do like 2 coffees, and it just seems like the coffee is heavy enough that, you know, but I love coffee. It's my favorite. If I could only have one thing, I know it's gross, but if only live off of one thing, if only could eat one thing, it would be coffee flavored ice cream. That's how much I like coffee, believe it or not. But you know, acne is something that we need to master at all ages, and we're always doing it incorrectly because it's almost like it's oil, we got to get rid of it. But the thing is, water is very important. Balance is important. The balancing the oil and water is important. Protecting the skin barrier is important. The skin barrier, it's like if you had leaks in your house, if you had, you know, holes in your walls, doesn't matter if you turn the furnace on in the wintertime. You know, all the good air and everything, all the nice warm stuff is escaping. In your skin, when your barrier is not repaired, when your barrier is compromised, the good moisture goes out, you know, infection comes in, inflammation goes up because now it's weaker, it's much more vulnerable. So it's very important to have the right kind of I have to see what I activated here. I can't see the fine print, but we're going to just activate the products and talk about them so you could order them. This is really important so I can activate them. Here we go. Yeah, all right, so I think they're all active now. I'm learning how to do this, so bear with me as I'm activating the products. I wanted to go in a certain order and talk about them. Hypochlorous acid, this is going to be the mist, the toner, the thing that sets your skin. This is for everybody at every age, at every stage. Babies, adults, people with delicate skin, people with diabetes and issues with your skin, if you have rosacea, if you have sensitivity, if you have breakout. This is something that I would take with, this is something, all right, we're gonna get really serious here. I use it all over my body. Yes, under my arms. I cannot stand, I'm sorry I'm gonna say this right now, but I cannot stand deodorant. I cannot stand people who wear deodorant and they're not using antiperspirant or they're not using an antibacterial. I can't, because to me, it's like bad smell, body odor, covered with roses or covered with vanilla or covered with flowers. You can still smell the underlying body odor. You're not fooling anybody. Not fooling anybody. Then you get a little bit older and you're like, you kind of smell yourself and you're thinking, I don't feel so fresh, right? Doesn't matter how much you're showering and how much you're taking care of yourself. This is all about bacteria. This is all about pH. This is all about how our bodies naturally change. We're perishable. We're like, you know, we're like fruits and vegetables. And some of us are like more like bananas and some of us are more like, I don't know, oranges or lettuce or parsley. And by bringing, the Deo Dry was an antiperspirant. Remember, it wasn't deodorant. It was antiperspirant with daisies. And we are working on, see, here's the thing. The antiperspirant part of the Deo Dry is no longer available. I am not a big fan of just covering up. For me, this is what I use right now. Instead of the Deo Dry, this is what I use. I use the hypochlorous acid. I use the hypochlorous acid. I use it privately, if you know what I mean. This is also very good for hormonal night sweats. Very good for body odor after the gym. The beauty about this, beyond the fact that you don't stink at all, okay? It gets rid of the odor because it's antibacterial. It's also anti-inflammatory and good for the microbiome. So the beauty is, if you've gone to the gym or you're taking care, you know, you've done something, you can spray this. You smell better. You're not going to get breakouts or rashes. You've actually given yourself and reset a treatment. This to me is one of those hacks that we need to know in life. Like, I know a lot of people are using like personal hygiene, vaginal deodorant-y kind of things and fragrance. I would run, not walk away from those things. I would beeline away from that. These are things that are not natural to your body. And everybody's always worried about, you know, is this clean? Is this organic? And then they go and they use these things. That is all marketing. You don't need it. Hypochlorous acid, Hochi, hypochlorous acid, this ingredient is naturally manufactured by our body, right? And sometimes we just need a little bit more in certain areas, on certain days, at certain times. Our body has the ability to do this on its own to a certain extent. So what we're doing here is we're amplifying something that is completely 100% natural for your body. It is a natural function. It is a natural thing that nature has put in us to help with balancing bacteria. But then what do? We eat processed food, we wear certain clothes, we use certain detergent, and all of a sudden these things are rubbing against us, or we're going through different hormones, and our body is changing the pH in those areas. And then it's like, oh, I need a little bit more of the hypochlorous acid. So your body doesn't know how to make it and isolate it and send it in those spots. I have found that this is an absolute game changer. When I travel now, this is all I take. I don't take deodorant, antiperspirant, refresher. I put it on a cloth, sometimes wipe my eyes. I put it all over my body. You could do a mouthwash with it, like spit it out, obviously. This is so, every household should have, every person, every household should have two, one in their room and one on them when they're traveling or wherever they are. This is what you should be at. You shouldn't have those hand sanitizers. This is way better than the hand sanitizer too. And the hand sanitizer compromises your immune system. This boosts your immune system. Like, I could do a whole thesis, I could do a whole dissertation, I could do graduate work on this alone. This is how important this ingredient, this formula is. So if you get this, you are game changing. We should offer this in a 6-pack. Literally, people should be buying this in 6 packs at a time. This is that important. This will be the one foundational change you could do for your skin that will calm it, soothe it, balance it, clear it. And if you got a stinky guy or stinky partner, spray this on their body, like literally. Armpits, between the legs, between the thighs area, feet, Hair, scalp. Very, very important. All right, so that's, I'm off my little rant there. Do you have lip gloss or lipstick on? Yes, it is lipstick. And I am not a lipstick wearer. I actually think I look ridiculous with lipstick on. But I thought I need a little bit of color because I'm so pale usually. I'm kind of like tone on tone. That's just, you know, how God made me. But a couple of years ago, this is how old this one is. A couple of years ago, a friend of the wife, you like it? She adores me. Apparently, I remind her of her aunt in Spain, right? So I remind her of her aunt. And she said, my aunt, who I love very much, always wore fuchsia, right? Lipstick, whatever. So one day when we were having dinner, she said, I got something for her, and she gave me this. This is something I never wear, but for her, for Ivana, I put it on. Today I thought, you know what, and I remember many, many years ago when I was like 22, 23 years old, one of my cousins in Italy was saying, why don't you wear fuchsia? Once in a while you should wear fuchsia. Like, it's like one of those things. And he was very fashion forward, and he really liked, you know, beautiful, Italian men, you know, I like beautiful women, and a little bit, he's a little bit of like, you could be all tone on tone, but then he said you could have a little bit of spark. So he was saying, just put a little bit of fuchsia on. So this morning, I just wanted to put a little bit of fuchsia on. And I kind of think it looks, here's the thing. I don't get my lips done or injected. I use the LX that you guys know about, that you love, right? The LX lip serum, right? But look at how big my lips are. Like, they're huge. I think they're so big. And that's why I don't like to accentuate them. I know a lot of women like the big, juicy lips. Naturally, this is how my lips have stayed. Fuchsia and hot pink are my favorite shirt colors. Looks pretty on you. Thank you. Thank you. I guess I need to be a little bit bolder, but I really appreciate the feedback and the compliments. I really like that. Oh, Deborah, thank you. Carla, Deborah, thank you. Yeah, so it's I guess outside of my comfort zone, and I think it just makes them so big. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel. But I thank you so much. I'm glad it doesn't look bad. I'm glad you like the way it looks. So let's go through what we have here today, because we're chatting away. The retinol. This, you know, the thing about Isomers is that we develop things and we take it for granted how flipping fabulous and smart we are when we're formulating. Honestly, I mean, when I look at our formulas again, and then I go and do a little bit, like I say, oh yeah, here, oh, that's at the microphone, and we talk about it, and it's like stuff that you have in your life that you've had all the time. You kind of take it for granted. This microdose is probably one of the best formulated retinols on the planet. I would say the best. It is one that actually would be the acne cure. This would be the acne cure. You know how Perricone did the wrinkle cure 20, 30 years ago? That's how he became famous, by saying he could cure wrinkles. You know, the wrinkle cure. Eat salmon and blueberries. Like, it was basically all you do is have everything anti-inflammatory. I used to laugh because I was thinking, oh, well, you have to live like a black bear. If you're a black bear, if you ate what a black bear ate, you wouldn't have acne, right? Wrinkles, according to him, because you'd have no inflammation. Anyway, I digress. This has the retinol in the microdose, but what else does it have? It has azelaic acid. I love azelaic acid. Again, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, post-acne marks, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Deals with that as well, and has niacinamide, which is a sebum regulator. This is what we should not that proactive and all that other stuff that is stripping and drying the skin out. This is what you give to your acne suffering self at any age, to your teenagers, to your friends and your friends' friends. It's about the science and understanding what is happening to the skin. And a lot of times it's all this stripping. And then you see people that have had it over a long period of time. But what this is going to do, see, acne is not a straight road. You know how they have that saying, all roads lead to Rome? What does that mean? That means that Rome is the base, is the center. And then there's a radial, right? It goes out many different roads. You can get there by many different paths. Same thing with acne. That acne has arrived on one of these roads, and sometimes a combination of roads. So you have to know how to treat it. Not one thing and it's going to treat it. Something has to work. So that's why you need the antibacterial, you need the anti-inflammatory, you need a little bit of exfoliation, then you need the barrier support, right? And the ceramides and the reinforcement, and you need the probiotics and all of that has to happen because each one is a different pathway. When you understand that, and listen, this is not something I knew. I'm also gathering more and more information, even post-acne, even post-menopause, post-motherhood, the infant stage, post-pregnancy. I'm learning more and more about what I could have done better that would have reduced the amount of acne I had in my life, the amount of scarring, the amount of marks that I had in my life. Managing acne is one thing, then removing all the signs that it was there is another journey. So taking somebody with 40 plus years experience, we're going through this and isolating these exact formulas helps you get there smarter, faster, better, without the irritation, right? Without the compromise. Now here we have ceramides. We have 2 ceramide formulas, a serum and a cream. These are going to boost your skin barrier. The number one thing is moisture in your skin. If your skin is like a colander, if your skin is like a sieve, if your skin does not have an intact barrier, it's like there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, there's a hole in the bucket, right? There's a hole in the skin. And so you want to use your ceramides. Now, I love the fact that we have it in 2 ways. We have it in a cream, makes it really easy for those of you who want to do maybe a retinol, put this on, do the sandwich method, calm your skin down. But remember, our skin is multi-layered. So when you use a cream, creams usually settle on the top layer because that is how a cream is made. A cream is made with fats that are bigger, wider molecules, right? Kind of greasier molecules. They sit on the surface, just like a lid on your Tupperware, or right? The serum has smaller fat molecules. So some of them slip in to the skin at different layers. Super important, because this way you're able to target all the layers, right? And this is why I like the serum for deeper penetration. Anytime you have a serum, you go down deeper. So if you have really chronic dry skin, flaking skin, rosacea, irritation, where your skin is kind of crispy because it's not just the surface, it's inside, it hurts, then you want the serum. You want the serum to go in there and you want it to deliver at the different levels and really get into that skin, okay? Ceramide Booster Serum. Put the cream on top. That's going to give you, now, ceramides are sphingolipids. What's that? It is a fat. It is part of the structure of your skin barrier. So your skin barrier, just because you look at your skin, you say, well, my skin is, the barrier is right there. No. The barrier, it's like the little glue that holds it all together, and you want this to kind of be a little sticky so that water has a hard time getting out of your skin and bacteria has a hard time getting in your skin. So you need to have these sticky little elements called ceramides. And you can't just have one layer. They have to layer up, like, you know, when you have a brick wall and you see that the bricks are staggered, this and then that forces it to be more of a channel system. That delays escape and absorption. But if you're pulling those bricks out because you've used products that have dried out your skin or that have broken the barrier, have compromised, too much stripping, too much exfoliation, too much dryness, too much confusion, sometimes, and this is another pet peeve of mine, too many products, like Korean skincare where it's 7, 8, 10, layer, serum. You jump in a pool, you only get so wet. And if you stay in the water, you start to get pruny because it starts to have a different reaction, right? Same thing with your skin. You're putting too many of these essences on your skin, and that is actually breaking your barrier because it starts swelling up because it's like drowning. And people think, well, look at how plump my skin is. Yeah. It's plump because it's over full. It's not good. It's like when you eat too much. It's like it's in a different state, and then it puts too much stress on the system. 2% salicylic acid is what I call the spot treatment. This is the formula for acne for your spots. So this is something that, okay, when I use salicylic acid, I always used to have a hard time with salicylic acid because I would use it so enthusiastically, right? I would just put it on because I was like, all right, this is the one, it's gonna get in there, and then boom, my skin would be dry, itchy, burnt. The next day I'd be crispy. So you've got to use a little bit, not too much, use a little bit, leave it on. I start with a minute or two, then I rinse it off. And I build up my tolerance with it. Then before you know it, because salicylic acid, your skin doesn't really get used to it, you're just building up a little bit of a tolerance because it's got, what it means by it's not getting used to it is that it is going to continue to liquefy the sebum and unclog pores. So if you have the sebaceous filaments, if you've got issues going on, I love this for that. I also love this for when you're going like, oh, what is that nodule? What is that thing? And you want to get deeper because salicylic acid has the ability to go into the follicle. And going into the follicle is important. It's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, it's exfoliating. People with very sensitive skin, the old me would have said, run, do not use salicylic acid. But that's not correct. That is not correct. Actually, you need to use salicylic acid because salicylic acid will actually help with the inflammation. There is a little bit of a bump with it or a learning curve with salicylic acid. 2% salicylic acid is considered therapeutic, right? So we can't go over 2% in skincare. This actually has a monograph. So when everybody's formulated with salicylic acid, we follow a certain protocol to be part of this monograph. This is how tested this ingredient is, how not sophisticated, how reinforced it is by the community, right? The scientific community, the skin care community, the formulation community, where this fits within skincare routines, what its role is. There is so much consensus to how this works. And when we have people that are competing with each other or different parts of the world or different generations all saying the same thing about an ingredient, it's only that way. You can't rewrite it, right? This is why the same with the hypochlorous acid, the same with the azelaic acid. So everything in this presentation is backed by science, not just Isomers Skincare. This is what Isomers Skincare is all about. I'm just going to show you a little bit more of the, here we go. Here's the family. Here we go. See the family is like, we have the hypochlorous acid, the retinol microdose, the ceramide barrier serum, ceramide barrier cream, 2% salicylic acid, and the microbiome balancing cream. Acne treatments, acne cures, clear skin, things that are going to help you address breakout, bumps on your skin, enlarged pores, right? All of those things that have to do with your skin quality. So if you know, and this is something that, when you're going through even hormonal older skin, you still have these issues where the bacteria can settle in and create havoc with your skin. So you want to be able to get in there and take care of it. So don't forget, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to the cottage today. I have a lake house that I hardly ever go to because I'm so busy doing other things, but I wanted to share with you these formulations. My opinion, okay, this is just me as a cosmetic chemist, right? What I would definitely never be without, all right? I would never be without the hypochlorous acid. I'd never be without the retinol microdose. I would never be without ceramide and the microbiome. Salicylic acid is a spot treatment. It's one of those things, take it or leave it. I get it. If you have chronic issues, yes. But these are staples, right? And especially, okay, these. They're on sale. They're available by Shop HQ. You're getting the best price. You're getting the best offer. You're getting Isomers guarantee. You are backed by, this is the way, and when we're doing these shows, or presentations, I don't know what you call them, presentation to show. Now I use your serum. Of course, Cynthia, I'm so glad you use the serum. Like I said, every woman and man out there today, teenager to, menopaused to, you got to use this. There's these companies that sell so many deodorants. There's all these deodorants, right? Deodorant is just a way of masking, of covering up smell, body odor. You imagine you're behind a garbage truck when you're driving to work or you're driving to the mall and there's a garbage truck in front of you, you're just like, PU, right? That's the garbage truck. Now, if they throw a bouquet of roses on top of that garbage truck, does it help? No, because underlying there's the problem of the odor. It has not been neutralized. It has not been taken care of. This neutralizes it. This is why, yes, I use it on my face. Balance the microbiome. Kills body odor. Private areas, so skin friendly. This is good health. This is something that, again, as I said, I would get it in 6 packs. I carry this with me everywhere. I do not use hand sanitizers. I think those are dangerous. Those compromise your skin. It breaks down your immune system. It usually has some funky scent to it as well, too. That's, again, another false way of teaching people. It's not clean. Being clean and hygienic is very important. That's where you need to start. Cleanliness with hygiene. Super duper pooper scooper important, right? This is where this comes in. Where it's non-drying, non-stripping, helps with the microbiome, helps with the restoration of the skin, right? Really, really important. So I'm trying here to find, that is not the hypochlorous acid. This is very small. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cynthia, Carla, Deborah, Harry, girls, everyone, love you very much. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's Father's Day. And just happy Father's Day. It's lovely that you have that, family. Family is very important. Fathers are very important. Mothers are very important. Family, connection, community is really important. We're here to be part of these communities. Thank you, Deborah. Have a great day. Don't forget to get your hypochlorous acid. I would love to hear your stories about utilizing this. So this is, we did focus, zero in on acne. Acne is huge. Acne could ruin your life. It almost ruined mine. If I had succumbed to all the things that was making me feel, and if I hadn't, it's like, this was my big problem, was the acne and the reactivity and the issues with my skin. And if I hadn't gone to University of Toronto, and if I didn't go to karate, and if I didn't meet Darius, I probably wouldn't have created Isomers Laboratories, right? I probably wouldn't have taken that path. But God put those challenges and that pain in front of me, and instead of running from it, we learned to embrace it. And 50 years later, I'm trying to teach people or communicate things I wish I knew when I was younger, things I wish I had. And that's why this isn't alcohol and benzoyl peroxide and things like that, right? This is why this is hypochlorous acid and ceramides and azelaic acid and probiotics. This is the evolution of how to do things in a way that your skin 40 years later is going to be amazing. 10 years later, 2 weeks later, is healthier, is balanced. We want to, you know how we worry about the planet? We want to protect the planet. We got to do the same thing and protect our skin. Enjoy your coffees. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, everybody.